Dinosaur Adventureland in Lenox, Alabama. It is December the 12th, 12/12/25. We're here to teach you the Bible is absolutely true and evolution is the dumbest and most dangerous religion in the world. Never been any evidence to support it, ever. You disagree? Call in. Be a call-in show tonight. Call in, get on the line. We're on a bunch of channels. They took us off of YouTube, but we just make us spread out everywhere else. We're on Facebook, Rumble, let's see, X, our own TV app, KentHovind.tv, Instagram, and TikTok. Is that it, Joseph?
Yes, sir.
There's about 10 more platforms out there, aren't there?
Yeah.
Only five.
Go live on them and there's not a lot of people.
5 people watch? Okay. Okay. Come do something with that. Okay, let's see. December the 12th. Come join us in 2 weeks for Christmas. If you don't have a family, we'll be your family. Come on down. January coming up. Oh, like a freight train. Martin Luther King was born on my birthday. That was nice of me. Okay. Let's see. We are an old-fashioned, independent, temperamental, fundamental, right-wing, chicken-eating Baptist church. We believe the Bible is true and evolution is dumb, real dumb. 100% true. Come on, visit our Genesis Baptist Church. We'll join us for holidays or anytime. Just come visit. We've got a bunch of visitors coming in tomorrow. So help us stay open for free. We haven't charged anything in almost 10 years now. April 16th will be 10-year anniversary. So 9.76 probably, I'm guessing. Join our 777 club. So I like what you're doing. I'm going to give you $1 a day, $31 a month. We can be your missionary to the blind and the dumb. Those who think they're related to a rock, or related to a potato and came from a rock. Yeah, okay. Call 855-BIG-DINO extension 1 or 2 if you'd like to get involved in that. We don't check up on you. We don't send out letters. If you want to help, great. If you don't, get out of the way. We're going to do it anyway, okay? Go to drdino.com right there. Okay, 9.7. I got to change that, 0.7. I have to do the math, April 16th. Never mind. Almost 10 years, okay? So comments on comments from Forrest deluded followers. I did that the other night. I went through a bunch of Forrest comments. If you have some contact, call in. I'm going to let Forrest continue to blabber for a minute. And he gets wondering why the other people get so animated. Why do you have a car? That was silly some of the stuff he did. Okay, let's see. Go, Forrest. No, got to go over here and hit that one. There. No, Joseph. Got to go here. He's in there somewhere. About to pick his nose, I think. Let's see.
They're all part of your lymphatic system. They're basically giant lymph nodes. That's not really important here.
You're talking about tonsils and how they are vestigial, but we still need them a little bit. Then you don't know that we ever needed them for more in the past, do you? You make that part up. They have a use. The hip bones in the whale, they're not hip bones. Those are part of the whale's reproductive system. And you can imagine, just you and SpongeBob, just imagine, there used to be legs. Yeah, no, they didn't. That's not science. See, science is what we can observe, study, and test for us. I can teach you a little bit about science if you'd like. Okay.
Here, I just want to make sure there's at least something educational going on in this video. At least this video is sponsored by Brilliant. Oh yeah, this video is sponsored by Brilliant. Do you feel it? That itch deep in your brain. That insatiable hunger to know.
Why are you making these faces, Forrest? You pick on those other people all the time. You know, it stopped every 10 seconds with something about them. Why are you looking like that, Forrest? Why are you selling Brilliant?
Know more, to be more. It's like there's knowledge out there.
You want to know more and be more? Read your Bible. It's flawless, scientifically accurate in every detail, Forrest. Evolution's the dumbest religion in the world. Call in, prove me wrong. Got a bunch of keyboard warriors on your side. That's all you got, doesn't he? Nobody called in. Okay.
Knowledge that you want. Knowledge you were meant to have.
Knowledge you were meant to have. Oh, yeah.
But you just can't have it. That's why you need Brilliant. Brilliant's an interactive learning app designed to make you smarter. Maybe even just a little bit too smart. But it isn't just a tool. No, it's a gateway. A shimmering portal into an infinite labyrinth of knowledge. Thousands of lessons in math, science,
The Bible says the fool has said in his heart, there's no God. You're not brilliant. You're a fool if you don't believe there's a God.
So what's their purpose?
Tonsils are placed at the back of the throat so they trap germs when we breathe. Proteins called antibodies produced by immune cells in the tonsils help kill germs and prevent throat and lung infections. They actually manufacture antibodies against disease. They're basically the first line of defense against inhaled or ingested viruses.
That's all pretty true, and it's no secret that that procedure was way overused a few decades ago, and there wasn't as much evidence as we thought there was for it being helpful, and so now it's been significantly dialed back.
They used to teach the tonsils were vestigial. They took mine out when I was a kid. They took almost everybody's out back in the 50s. Now they know there's a use for them, and they don't do it much anymore. Science is slowly catching up with the Bible. There are no useless vestigial structures, none. Now, you can't live without them. The other parts of your lymphatic system have to work harder, that's all. You can live without your little finger. Your other fingers have to work harder, that's all. Okay? The guys just don't get it. So Forrest is saying, see, science has learned that they're not quite completely useless, so let's leave them in. Why did you take them out to begin with? They thought because of the stupid vestigial structure idea from Darwin and other people back in his time frame, there are no vestigial structures. Everything has a use God made. You think it's something useless? Completely useless? They make up a story about how it used to be used in the past, like the whale's legs. Oh, by the way, Pluto called in about that whale 1919 washed up on the beach. I found the video and watched it.
Okay.
There are no pictures of it. No, they said it had leg bones, three bones, about a meter long, and ended with a fist, like a lump of bone on the end. It wasn't. Anyway, so, and that's only one. Who did that one marry?
But this has very little to do with evolution. This is just the way that medical science has always progressed.
Medical science has progressed in many ways. They used to teach, if you're sick, take out your blood. You have bad blood, doctrine of humors. Yeah, so George Washington died. I'm glad they progressed past that. When the Bible said, right next to George was a Bible that said, the life of the flesh is in the blood. If they'd have read that, he might still be alive. Well, he would live longer anyway. Okay.
It's the same reason why you can't buy heroin and cocaine over the counter anymore.
So what about the appendix? It's thought to be vestigial, right?
Not anymore. In fact, the story of the vermiform appendix is very similar to that of the palatine tonsils. We used to think these structures were vestigial, and then we found new evidence, and so we changed our minds.
Searching for it, and you'll find that the Bible is true. You need to change your mind. See, the Bible says they bring forth after their kind. That's all anybody has ever seen. You guys make these stupid family trees and say, oh, yes, boys and girls, everything is related. Yes, humans are related to ducks. Maybe you can see the similarity there. Humans came from a bacteria. This is not science, Forrest. This is a propaganda poster. That's all it is. Nothing scientific about it. You can believe it if you want, but don't call it science. And certainly don't make everybody pay to have all the kids learn that. Okay, go ahead.
This is just how integrity works. If you'd like to know more about all that and why it isn't nearly as big of a deal as creationists like to pretend, you can check out this video where Answers in Genesis makes this same argument, only somehow worse.
It's thought to be vestigial, right? I'm not even sure I know what it is.
It's a tube-shaped sac attached to the lower end of the large intestine. It's part of your digestive system,
Okay,
and
enough But they also have purpose?
I know this is scripted, but what John just did is why creationists never learn anything. He was being given detailed information, stopped that noise, and focused in on exactly what he wanted to hear.
That's what you've been doing this whole show, Forrest. You let them talk 6 words and then you interrupt and you don't want to hear what they have to say. You're doing exactly this, Forrest. Go look in the mirror.
So he could draw the conclusion that he wanted to draw. Classic.
Conclusion you wanted to draw. You see little bones in the whale's abdomen and conclude, wow, they used to have legs, they used to walk on land. This is proof of a whole big mystery, evolution of the whale from a dog-like animal. You're doing it. You don't even see it. How can I get him to see it, Joseph? Need a bigger hammer. Yeah.
Creationist move.
You have any questions coming in? I don't want to waste all my time on Forrest, but
I got a few in here.
okay, go ahead. Let's bring these up. If we get more time, we'll come back to Forrest, okay? I don't think there's any hope for him. I remember your vision tapes from the late 90s, early 2000. Invited my friends over, and we all watched. Glad to see you're well and still. Well, thank you. Appreciate that, Brian. Come on down, visit Dinosaur Adventureland. It's free. Come on down. Okay, let's see. You have me studying the Bible, Ken. Open my eyes to repent. Thank you. Well, it's Kent with the T on there. But, well, good. Spread it around. Tell somebody else about it. Okay, please do. Halfway through listening to George Janko podcast. Great stuff. Thank you. Brett. Thank you. George Yanko, how many views did he get so far, Joseph?
I think it's like 31,000. Right?
31,000.
Just come out yesterday.
Just came out yesterday. Yeah. He's a great interviewer too. Asks questions and lets you talk. Okay. I would hate to have Forrest Gump here interview me. He'd interrupt every 3 seconds and try to throw you off track. Ken, have you ever visited Israel? Yes, I have. Loved it over there. Beautiful place. Ken, can you briefly explain why you believe in the book of Genesis but not flat Earth? Okay, because the Earth is round. Okay, next. I look forward to my drive home every day because of your live videos. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Be still. Oh, I did that the other day, didn't I? Curious what Ken has to say about the out of Africa theory or the Aryans out of the Caucasus theory. I guess I don't know enough about that to give an informed opinion. We're all of one race called the human race, okay? The Bible says Egypt is the land of Ham. I cover this on video number 7 of my series. It appears like when Noah's 3 sons, Shem, Ham, Japheth, they had kids and grandkids and great-grandkids, and we got up to the days of Peleg. Let me get my chart here. Coming after Noah, Shem, Arphaxad, Selah, Eber, and Peleg. The Bible says in the days of Peleg, the earth was divided. That's all it says. There's several theories about that, and maybe they're all true, actually. Maybe the languages were divided about that time with the Tower of Babel, because that's following a different one of Noah's sons, for which there are no dates given, but it's about the same number of generations. So the days of Peleg, the earth being divided, might have been, they divided it by the languages. It might have been because of that, small inbreeding groups would take off different directions, because if you speak French, hey, anybody, parlez-vous français? Follow me, hablo español, you follow me. Sprechen Sie Deutsch? They probably divided up. And then if you get a smaller group of people, inbreeding, for lack of a better word, you got to marry within the family, unusual traits can become pronounced and locked into the population. Like the Habsburgs. Google the Habsburg dynasty. You had to marry royalty. Sometimes the only one available is your sister or your aunt, and they had some strange looking Habsburgs after just a few generations. I got pictures on that in video 7. So another theory is the ice caps were melting back, and the earth was divided into islands and continents because of the rising waters. Raise and lower the water level, it changed the shape of the continent. Another theory is that the people decided, by now they're getting, 5 generations, getting to be a lot of people around. And they said, hey, let's draw a few lines on the ground. This is my yard, that's your yard. They divided the land by, geographic boundaries. So those are, maybe they're all true, like I said. Okay. But anyway, there's only one race called the human race, just different skin colors. What if you believe, but you're struggling with sins he freed you from? That is everybody's battle that I know of. Has anybody conquered all the sins in their life? Anybody? I can't put my hand up. Okay. I'm still struggling with humility, modesty, Joseph. My book, The World's 3 Most Humble People and How I Trained the Other 2, should be coming out soon. What are your thoughts on speaking in tongues? I speak English, a little tiny bit of French and Spanish and German and Norwegian and Chinese and Japanese. You should be able to count to 10 in 20 languages. Did I tell you, Joseph, when I was in 5th grade, I memorized the capital of every country in the world?
You told me. Yep.
Yeah. Name a country, I'll tell you the capital.
Thailand.
What?
Thailand.
Thailand, T. Starts with capital T. Memorize the capital of every state too. Alabama, A. Okay. I think the speaking in tongues was a gift for the New Testament church until they had a New Testament. I cover this in great detail on video 7. I won't call up the slides now. I've got plenty of stuff on this. But when God told Moses to get the people out of Egypt, he gave Moses some signs. Drop your stick, it turns to a snake. Okay, reach your hand in your coat, it comes out leprosy. Touch the water, it turns to blood. Those signs ceased when the job was done. The job was get them out of Egypt. Once they're out, he could go ahead and lay a stick down, it wouldn't turn to a snake. So the signs were for a particular purpose. The New Testament church did not have a New Testament. It was being written. So until it was done, I think the signs were necessary. Speaking in tongues, raising the dead, healing the sick, drinking poison. Why did they pick the easiest one to fake? Anybody can fake the tongues. Yeah. So I think, I don't fight those people. I think they love the Lord. I think they're just deluded, okay? I think on some, it's an ego trip. Wow, I spoke in tongues and you didn't. I'm a better Christian than you. That's what it boils down to, okay? So when the New Testament was finished, John on the Isle of Patmos, God told him to write, don't add to this book. So I think that's when it ceased. It was necessary because the New Testament church didn't have a New Testament. And if you read carefully, the two times really big chapters in the Bible about the tongues is Acts chapter 2, and read it carefully. The people were there in Jerusalem from every nation under heaven. This is the ideal time to get the gospel out. They're all there. And so they began speaking in other tongues, and it names 17 languages. Elamites, dwellers of Mesopotamia, Cretes, Arabians. Read it, Acts 2. They weren't speaking a heavenly language. God speaks English just fine. So then later in Acts chapter 10, Cornelius got saved, and he began speaking with tongues. Read it carefully. He was a centurion of the Italian band. Anybody want to guess where he was from? Yeah. Italy. And guess what language he probably spoke? Italian. Okay. So either Cornelius was given the gift of speaking fluent, whatever, was it Paul or Peter in Acts chapter 10? And whoever, I think it was Paul. Anyway, whatever, if Paul was speaking, Hebrew, Cornelius was given the gift of speaking Hebrew, or Paul was given the gift of speaking Italian. Either way, it's an earthly language. There are no instances of a heavenly jibber jabber. So you asked my question, what do I think about tongues? I don't fight those people. I think they love the Lord. They're not the enemy. But there's a book we have, Why I'm Not a Charismatic. It's by Peter Ruckman. He's rude, crude, mean, everything else. But it's really well done, covers in great detail the problems with this. So I say, if it's for today, I want it. But I think it's not for today because it would come along with raising the dead, healing the sick. Why don't they do that one? Drink poison? Anyway, so again, I don't fight them, but I think they're wrong. Okay. I'm sorry, I should have asked my question better. I'm a believer and find the firmament theory a topic very interesting. I think the earth is round as well, but how does the firmament fit into all of it? If you read Genesis chapter 1 and 2, it says the birds fly in the firmament. Well, if the birds fly in the firmament, that's the air we're breathing. Right now, it's about 50 miles thick. You go up 5 miles, Mount Everest is not enough left for you to breathe. And you got it with the space shuttle. I think they have to go up. Google, Joseph, what's the altitude of the space shuttle? They try to get away from the atmosphere because it creates, drag and slows them down, burns up gas mileage. So I'm going to guess it's 40 or 50 miles. They have to go up before to get away from Earth's effective atmosphere. There's still molecules out there. Anyway, so I think the Earth's atmosphere before the flood it says there was water above the firmament. I think it was a layer of ice above the atmosphere, squeezing everything down into probably 10 miles, which would double the pressure here at the surface and make breathing easier. We cover all that in video number 2 of my creation seminar series. Space shuttle's altitude, 100 kilometers, 62 miles. There you go. Okay. That way they've effectively gotten away from most of the molecules of air floating around up there. Okay, let's see. Explain the millennium. Milli means 1,000, like a millimeter. Millipede has they don't have 1,000 legs, but they got a bunch. A millimeter is 1,000th of a meter. The millennium is the 1,000-year reign of Christ. Talked about quite a few times. Let me get my chart here. If you get my timeline that's behind me, or the smaller version of it for $10, I give all the references to the day of the Lord. See, the day of the Lord is 1,000 years. The day of Christ is the rapture. And get a King James, because they confuse them in these other versions. Throw them away or park them on the shelf, but get a King James. The day of Christ is mentioned a whole bunch of times. They're all on my chart. The day of the Lord is mentioned a whole bunch of times. And that is the millennium, the 1,000-year reign of Christ, the 7th 1,000-year period. Creation was about 4,000 BC. Jesus came 2,000 years ago. We're now in what's called the age of the Gentiles, about 2,000 years almost. And if Jesus crucified and left in the year 28 is probably the most reasonable number, we know that our calendar is off, our Roman calendar. He was born in 3 or 4 BC, and he died when he was 31, So about 28 AD was when the crucifixion was. And so 2028 is coming like a freight train. I think we'll see something major happen there. So that may start the 7-year period. But milli simply means 1,000. Millennium is the 1,000-year reign of Christ, and it's referenced in way too many verses to list here. Get my book or my video series or my chart. Okay? Let's see. From Vanata. You really have all those letters, 2 N's, 2 T's, 2 A's, 3 A's, 4 A's. Whew. Okay. Just watch your podcast on George Janko. I was happy to see you on. Maybe next tell Joe Rogan to invite me. I find if I show up to do shows and I'm not invited, they don't appreciate it.
Doesn't get a lot of views.
Doesn't get so. Tell them to call me. I'll be glad to go. I'm going to be on the Donald Trump show one of these days too. I've always wondered what things you and Ken Ham disagree on. Little minor stuff, nothing major. He's a great guy. I love what he's doing. He's an ally. My stuff's better, but he's good. Okay. Ken, what is the point of sin if all you have to do is believe? Well, God made a perfect creation and man chose to sin. I bet you if you have children, you probably didn't teach them to do wrong. You tried to get them to do right. And then they just do wrong anyway. So you got to correct them and, tell stop, spank them if necessary, whatever. So we have a rebellious spirit in our heart. We just don't like to do what God tells us to do. And so what was the point of sin? I don't understand that question. We are all sinners, and there's something we struggle against. And that helps us be stronger, actually. Weightlifters go into the gym, lift those weights, doesn't affect the weights at all. When they're all done, the weights are left on where they started. Didn't change them a bit. They changed you. You didn't change them. And the struggle against different things, sins and whatever, it'll change you. And it's good. Okay? Let's see. Thank you, Dr. Oven, bringing simple sanity to Christianity. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Cremation, is it a sin? No, but you probably should wait till you're dead to do it. I'd recommend. No, there's nothing sinful about it. Burying somebody in a casket just slows down the process of rotting into him back. Okay? I don't see any problem with it at all. Just can't believe in healing. Well, yeah. How many of you have ever been sick and you got well? How many of you have ever been sick and you died? Hurt my finger today. Do I get any sympathy? Oh, okay. It's going to feel better when it quits hurting, and it's probably going to get well. I got scars all over my body from doing dumb stuff, okay? Yeah, God is a divine healer, no question. Now, does God give that power to a person to come slap you on the forehead and be healed? And, if you give him $50? No, I don't believe that at all, okay? What are your thoughts on geographical locations like the Devil's Tower? Some people say are massive trees. Mike, I've looked at that pretty carefully. I've been to the Devil's Tower. I've traveled to all 50 states and 37 countries. There may be a couple of them that actually are big trees, but I think Devil's Tower is no question probably a volcano neck. As the lava comes out and hardens in the neck of the volcano, then later the volcano erodes away. The neck is sick, and usually it's basalt, the hexagonal crystals and stuff like that. So I think there are a lot of people claiming all those things are trees. I disagree, but some of them there probably were some really big trees in the original creation, really big. Okay. What happens after the 1,000-year reign? It says after the 1,000 years, Lucifer is released from the pit. This is in Revelation 20, verse 1 through 7. It's right here. Then there's one more. Then he's cast into the lake of fire. Death and hell were cast into the lake of fire, which is a different place. See, when people die today that aren't saved, they go to hell. And hell is the temporary holding place until the trial, the great white throne judgment. Then they're cast into the lake of fire, which is the permanent place. And God's going to make a new heaven and a new earth, and we enter a totally new stage called eternity, which I don't think our human brain can hold. It appears to me like there's no time. I've been stuck in time all my life. I don't know how to live without it. How many of you have ever wished you could go back just 5 seconds to undo the dumb thing you just did? Anybody? Okay. I don't think we're going to have that problem. The Bible has, I've got all the verses I could find on it. Eternity, Isaiah 57:15, Isaiah 65:17, 2 Peter 3:13, Revelation 21:1, the great white throne judgments mentioned in a whole bunch of verses, too many to list. Heaven, the lake of fire, all the references. I put 1,000 hours into this chart. I'm a visual learner. I want to understand, God, what's going on? What are you trying to do? What should I do? And I just want to know, what do you want me to do, God? Where's my orders? Okay. Thank you,
So
Bruce.
on to the question tonight.
Heard you say that she did not believe in the pre-trib anymore. Rapture, just was wondering why. Who's the she?
Right, typo, it might be you.
Okay. No, I used to believe we get raptured out. I think most folks that study the Bible realize Jesus' disciples are going to be caught. The word rapture simply means to snatch away, grab something and snatch it away, you know. And so rapturo, I think there's a couple of Greek word or something. But the rapture takes place when we are caught up to be with him in the clouds. It's mentioned in Matthew 24, mentioned in Luke 21, Mark 13, 1 Thessalonians 4. There's quite a few verses on this. Well, here, the rapture, the day of Christ. Gee whiz, I can't read my own writing. That's because it's typed in here, real tiny words. That's all the references. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 13 times this catching away is mentioned in the Bible, and they're all right here on the chart, right there. So the idea that there's a tribulation time, a time of tribulation, I think most folks, scholars agree, there's a 7-year period of tribulation. In 1830, they started teaching we get raptured out before the tribulation starts. And I fell for it. That's what Schofield Bible taught. That's what the Dake Study Bible teaches. It's just not true. As I really poured myself into it, I said, we're here for the troll tribulation. We get raptured out after the tribulation, before the wrath of God falls. See, the wrath of God comes in the day of the Lord. That is part of this 1,000-year period. It's about 3 years. 1,040 days of the wrath of God being poured out. And all the verses for that are all in real small print on here. Get the big poster. So, yeah, I wish the pre-trib rapture was true. I love all the songs, you know, it can happen in a moment, in a twinkling of an eye, soon and very soon, we're going to see the King. It's not true. And a lot of Christians are going to get disappointed when they see themselves going through the tribulation and wondering why, God. See, they think when bad things happen from the world, that's God doing it to them. No. The heathen, the world's always hated us and wants to hurt us. Look at Charlie Kirk. Watch your videos quite some time. First time tuning into a live stream. Well, thank you, Cody. Call in anytime. Do you believe that the death of the Son falls into Scripture anywhere or play any role in the end of times? Jesus' disciples asked him, Lord, when are you coming and what's the sign? That's in Matthew 24 and in Mark 13 and in Luke 21. He talks about the tribulation for 20 verses or so. And every time they asked him, what's the sign? He said, the sun and the moon go dark. That's the sign. And the sun and the moon going dark is mentioned, let's see, Isaiah 13:10, Isaiah 24:3, Ezekiel 32:7, Joel 2:2, Joel 2:31, Joel 3:15, Matthew 24:29, Mark 13:24, Luke 21:25, Acts 2:20, Revelation 6:12. All those times the sun and the moon going dark. It doesn't say it's going to stay dark. It may, I don't know. It doesn't say. So Bible's silent. But anyway, yeah, the sun, there's going to be no need of the sun in the New Jerusalem because Jesus Christ is the light thereof. I didn't see enough Bible verses to make a dogmatic stand on that one. Okay? I believe 2023 is end of it all. I think that's when the belief. Okay. Go for it. 2032, I said, okay. Can't thank you for winning my soul. Doc, love you in the ministry of your college courses. Well, thank you. Joshua, tell somebody else about it. Spread it around. Okay. Just can't believe in Yetis. You mean the abominable snowman? Oh, is it a cup, a drink, a Yeti?
I think he's talking about the snowman though, yeah.
I don't know. Never seen one. Last question. I have a 3-year-old. What's the best way to introduce him to Jesus and try to guide him correctly? Well, Bryce, at that age, most of them don't have the capability of comprehending enough. Now, my daughter did. My daughter was at 3 begging, can I please get saved, Daddy? Oh, you're too young. Oh, please, Daddy, I need to get saved. And so, I don't know. She was really smart, still is. And I think that it's different with every kid. Most people, they teach what's called the age of accountability. Now, that phrase is not found in the Bible. It's more of a, and it really comes from basically one passage. King David's baby died. And they said, and David was crying before while the baby was sick. And when the baby died, instead of mourning, he just went back to work. People said, David, you got it backwards. He said, no. While he said, how's the phrase go? I cannot bring him back to me, but I shall go to him. So from that, I think most people conclude that, I don't know what verse that's in, 1 Samuel something or other, that all babies go to heaven before whatever age they're able to account for their own sin. Maybe 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't think it's different with every child. I would just teach Bible stories to them. Teach them, how do we know right from wrong? Teach them about sin, that's bad. Don't do that. And so there's probably a lot of other people dealing with 3, 4, 4-year-olds, children's pastors and stuff would have better information than I would on that one. Spinosaurus, similar to a crocodile based on the fossil record. Wouldn't matter to me, I guess, Kyle. I don't know. What are your thoughts on Nephilim? Brother, I wish I knew. Eugene, it mentions this in the Bible several times. There were giants in the earth in those days. I think quite a few huge skeletons have been found and hidden, primarily by the Smithsonian, but other people are hiding them. We got a whole series of books. Are they in the Science Center now? Joey, when you give the tour, all the books about giants, are they in the Science Center room? They're not in my library anymore. We probably got how many books do you think? 5, 6, 7 books? I can't hear what she said.
Yes.
Guess what? 5, 6. Okay. There are quite a few books that have been written on this topic of evidence of giant people. I mean, like 15, 20 feet tall being found. I can't prove it wrong. And if they found a 20-foot human skeleton, what would the evolutionists say? Smithsonian, go get it, grab it, quick, get it out of here. Because it goes against their theory. They want you to think we started like a chimpanzee. We're getting bigger, better, stronger, smarter. I think the exact opposite is true. So, still having 20% off all DVDs till January. Yes, sir. Bobby. That's Bobby?
Yes.
She's asking or telling?
She's telling.
What's she telling?
Well, it was your idea.
I like the idea, yeah. Get any of my DVD 20% off until January to get Christmas presents or something. Better hurry, though, to get them out in time for Christmas. Will you explain God's providence as far as major historical events and their timing? I don't think we're going to know all that till we see it in retrospect. Look back. It's easier to look back on history and see where God, provided things, and to look as it happens. We don't see it very much. Like George Washington, how many bullet holes? 4 bullet holes in his coat.
Yeah, I heard that.
And the Indians said, we tried to kill the guy, it couldn't kill him. So is it providence? I don't know. There's hundreds of stories like that. So I think we'll see that looking back, like when you could have been really hurt or something. Okay. Okay. Kent, where's your evidence that several inches of crystal clear ice, probably in the form of metallic hydrogen, existed 20 miles up in the atmosphere? I don't have to have evidence. I say that's my theory. I think we have evidence that people used to live to be older, 900. There's lots of historical evidence, like the legends of a golden age. Why would so many different countries, non-Christian countries, have a legend? Oh man, used to live to be 1,000. Something was different. The Hebrews have always taught there was a crystal canopy above. But see, here's the problem, crybaby. I'm not asking everybody to pay for my theory to be taught in the public schools. You guys are demanding that everybody pay for your religion to be taught in the public schools. That's the difference that you will never admit or understand even. Okay? Do you agree with our president on most things I've seen so far? I think he's doing a great job. I pray for him often, okay? Thrilled with what he's doing. Just can't believe in unicorns. Well, we tend to think, because of the syllable uni in there, that it means a single horn. There are quite a few animals with a horn. There are several dinosaurs. What's that big one with the giant horn? I forget the name of it now. But I think the Bible mentions them. It doesn't say what it is. Maybe it has nothing to do with having a horn. Maybe it's the name of an animal, and unicorn is, a frog. I don't know. So I don't think there's enough to be dogmatic. Billy, you got one? A unicorn? Anybody? Doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, I think it was that Siberian unicorn.
Siberian, what was that thing called? Yeah.
That's huge. But they did a book in 2008 called Return of the Unicorn, and it was about the great single-horned rhinoceros in Africa.
great single horn rhinoceros.
It was called rhinoceros unicorn.
Yeah.
Unicorn.
Okay. Not worth fighting over to me. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's about it.
Good. I'm ready for a break. Ready for a break tonight. Let's see. Who was the Jewish historian that talked about the firmament?
Josephus.
Who?
Josephus.
Did Josephus cover that firmament?
I think so.
I got his book right there. The kind of orange, big, tall stuff. Yeah, hand me that, would you, brother? Right there. Yep, Josephus. He was an ancient historian in about the time of Jesus Christ. I think if you go to avpublications.com, they've done a lot of research on some of this is forgeries, post-Christian time. They want to say, claim it happened before. So I don't know where he talks about unicorn, but if you can find where he does, let me know. I'll look it up in here.
No, the ice canopy.
Oh, ice canopy. Okay. Ice canopy. I've not read the whole thing.
Flavius Josephus.
Yeah, Flavius Josephus. That's him. Okay. Anything else?
Nothing.
Yeah,
to
thank you,
report,
brother.
Doc. I'll let you get out of here on that.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Tomorrow, nothing. Sunday morning, going to start a whole new series. If I can get ready. I've been up half the night for the next 3 nights, brother, getting ready on this. Yep.
The Second Samuel is where David talks about being with his son.
Oh, Dave, 2 Samuel when the baby dies. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. See you Sunday morning. Bye.